Okay, guys, I just wanted to show you a quick video here about how to draw the female reproductive system. It's a structure actually I find that can cause difficulty with students, and maybe because for the male reproductive system, I suppose it is a system that rests outside of the body. People are familiar with it. In that they would have a vague idea about how to draw it. But for the female reproductive system, unless maybe you are a woman, you might actually find this a bit more challenging. So I just want to walk you through how you draw it. And again, it's a very simple structure to draw. We're not making an elaborate piece of artwork here, but we do want to have a nice little representation. So the first thing anyways here, you can see I'm drawing a curve up the top of the page. Make sure when you're doing this that you give yourself loads and loads of space. Now, at the moment, there's a bit of a lag in the video here, but you'll see here more lines being drawn in. And what we want to do really is we want to draw in the fallopian tubes on either end of this line. Okay, so it's going to appear here any minute. You'll see these tubes being drawn in. Let me skip forward, maybe. Oh, there we go. Just as I was about to skip in. So I'm just going to pause here for a second, and if you look here, you can see that these. What I would do is this: once we had this curve drawn, you draw another curve here and another curve here, and you just extend these tubes outwards for the fallopian tubes on either end. Now, once you've done that structure, really, the rest of it's kind of easy. Okay, so you can see here that there's a curving around, and then it kind of narrows in down the bottom. And once you've done that much, then it's time to start thinking about drawing in your ovaries. Now, if you look at this picture here, you'll see now in any minute, I actually rub out that ovary because it's a bit too small for the picture, and I make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so again, you want to have a nice kind of proportions. The proportions should be, I suppose, a bit fairly good. There's an ovary on the left and there's an ovary on the right, remember? And you're probably wondering, what are those kind of fingers that are sticking onto the ovaries? They're called the fallopian tube funnels. So now I'm almost there. I would say probably 60% there. What I want to do next is I want to draw the inner structure of the female reproductive system. So you can see here I've switched colors for emphasis. And this is going to be a continuous tube running up until the fallopian tube funnels. And this inner structure of the female reproductive system actually extends all the ways from the fallopian tube funnels down into the main part of the uterus. So you can see here I'm drawing this line down and I'm kind of following the curve that I drew in earlier. And once I've done that now, I've basically drawn the internal structure. Now, this isn't probably the best representation of it, but what you're seeing drawn now down the very bottom there is a cervix. Okay, so the cervix, which is like a mucus layer. And then finally you extend down your structure and you have got, I'm just going to pause it there, what you've got there is your vagina. Okay, so looking at it, I mean, again, it's not brilliant, but it works. I don't know what it is. It kind of looks like a ram or something when you actually draw it out. So that's kind of what you're aiming for. Um, so maybe with its eyeballs maybe drawn out to the left and the right, if you look at it like that. So that's kind of what you want to end up with. And the next thing then is the labeling process. So don't forget this, any drawings in science in general have to be fully labeled. And again, you want to put your arrow points directly on the point here that you're trying to label. So really, if we talk about the different types of structures here that are inside in the female reproductive system, I mean, down the very bottom there, you're talking about the vagina. So that's where basically the copulation happens. So what we're starting with here, we have the ovary. So there's two ovaries, remember? We're starting with, we have the cervix next, which is that mucus layer. The vagina, as I just described, where copulation happens. Uterus. We have the endometrium, which is the lining of the uterus lining. And we have the fallopian tube. And finally, then, what have we got? We have got, oh,